Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm Wayne Scott, the founder and president of LifeHouse Productions, and it's an honor and privilege to be with you tonight, and I deeply appreciate you all joining us this evening. Tonight, we welcome our patrons and honored guests, our seasoned subscribers, our family of faithful financial partners, our special corporate sponsors, our dozens of faithful volunteers, our casts of storytellers and alumni of countless LifeHouse Productions, our LifeHouse Theater Outreach Touring Company, our staff and advisory board, and members of the press and media. Welcome to our 21st season celebration. And it's always fitting that we're here at Trinity Church, and we're thankful for our long-standing relationship with Trinity. And tonight we're being hosted by Pastor Larry Shoemaker, and I've considered him a friend for many years. We appreciate your joining us as well. And much of what has become LifeHouse Theater began here at Trinity Church back in the 1980s while I was on staff as an associate pastor, and we are truly grateful to be here in this facility. Tonight we look forward to unveiling a 21st season we're entitling A Season of Hope and a Future. Drawing upon Jeremiah 29:11, we thankfully acknowledge that God knows the plans he has for us. He declares that he has plans to prosper us and not to harm, plans to give us a hope and a future. We have seen God's faithful provision for more than 20 years, and in gratitude to God for the hope he consistently offers LifeHouse year after year, we have crafted a season of stories pointing to God as the source of all hope in the 21st season. And speaking of hope, an internationally acclaimed institution of hope with whom LifeHouse has cultivated a most rewarding relationship is the Salvation Army. It's an honor to now welcome to our stage two beloved local representatives, Majors Edward and Dorothy Covert. Thank you for joining us. We have appreciated having you and your team of men come consistently. In fact, I think we had about 60 men for Ben-Hur recently, and it was really gratifying to see their tremendous response to what they were watching. It seemed fresh and new to them, and they, of course, felt, I think, God's hand that night.
They did. You know, it's very interesting. Wayne called me about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago and said, would you come? And I said, oh, I'd be honored. And now I get here tonight. He told me what we're supposed to do. He said, I'll just ask you some questions. You notice that he has the script. And here I am, left to answer his question. So go ahead. But I do want to say that one of the real special times for the Salvation Army Rehabilitation Center in San Bernardino is coming to LifeHouse. It really is. We have been so blessed. And bringing some of our men here each time, it never fails to amaze me, the number of guys that will say, you know, I've never been to anything like this. And afterwards they'll say, you know, I can't believe I had so much fun and I'm still sober. And that's an unsolicited testimony, but it's true. The quality that is demonstrated to these guys teaches in a way that we could never do it. To say that, you know what, there's more to life than shooting up or drinking up. That by finding these kinds of things, that God blesses us. And I want to say again that Ben-Hur was the highlight. It really was in so many ways. The guys, as they saw the Christ coming down with the cross, and then when the cross stood up, I was where I could hear throughout the audience, but especially our guys go, oh, they just were overwhelmed with it. And that helps us because our program is Christ-centered. And this was a way that we could say to them, hey, this is what it's really all about. And this season coming up with a season of hope in the future, we're with you.
Oh, I appreciate that very much.
Right.
And I believe I speak for everyone here that we appreciate all the outstanding good work of the Salvation Army.
Thank you.
Would you, and you haven't needed a script at all, you're doing just fine. Would you do us the honor of opening us in prayer tonight?
Please join me in a word of prayer. Our loving Father, we gather together tonight to celebrate your goodness and to celebrate your hope and to celebrate the gift of drama that you have placed in the hands of LifeHouse Theater. What a great time. What a great celebration this is when we remember that the reason for this is the Lord Jesus Christ. So I thank you, Lord, for our part in this as we share and enjoy. And I thank you, Lord, for the long hours that have been put in by cast and all of the supporting workers. And pray, Lord, that you'll continue to pour out your Spirit on LifeHouse Theater. We make our prayer tonight in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Major. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. For some time, we've not only had this great relationship with the Salvation Army, but we have also had a wonderful association with Youth Hope, which is an outreach to homeless teens here in Redlands. There are, believe it or not, about 3,000 such teens. And we also have Ronald McDonald House, a wonderful relationship with them. Their patients and families enjoy complimentary seating at our performances, and it's our way of giving back. I want to take a moment now to thank all of you present for the ways you help support and sustain LifeHouse in all of these ways as we seek to be a beacon of hope through the arts. LifeHouse simply would not exist without all of you who have contributed in some way, whether it be attendance, which of course is extremely important, but it is you and your attendance and your encouragement that has revealed God's hope and a future for our own outreach. We want to thank you for your encouragement. Thank you to the many who give sacrificial time and resources, whether it be our cast storytellers or many others of you. And thank you for your financial partnership, those of you that help in that way, because that helps sustain our work. We deeply appreciate your helping us to keep the lights on and the bills paid and tickets priced so that they may remain accessible and affordable for the families that we seek to serve. Our theme verse is an organization is 1 John 1:1. That which we have seen, that which we proclaim concerning the word of life. Our Lord, of course, had disciples, and they were with Jesus. They could touch his garments. They could hear him speak and tell stories. He illustrated stories with parables. He wanted to illustrate eternal truth with wonderful stories that would be memorable. And that's what we seek to do. We want to bring that kind of eternal life to the house, as in, do we have a full house tonight? And that's why we're called LifeHouse, because we want to bring that life to the house. While I was starting the drama department at Arrowhead Christian Academy in the 1980s, I read a book called Against the Night by Charles Colson, an amazing Christian apologist. And he has the prison ministry, you recall, from his own time in prison. But in Against the Night, this book proclaims that we live in a new dark age. And I happen to agree with that, because Colson's point is that it's a dark age because so many people in spheres of influence have become secular barbarians, and they've taken it over, while some of us people who are people of faith have sort of rolled over and played dead. And Colson's challenge to all of us, but one that I really felt convicted by, was what am I doing to try to make a difference in my corner of the world with my own affinity for the arts, and could I make a difference in that? And thankfully, so many of you have bought into that vision of how we can fight fire with fire in the marketplace of ideas with good moral values woven into an art form known as the theatrical arts. And I appreciate your help in doing all of that. Of course, it's God who has enabled and sustained LifeHouse all these years, and he is the cornerstone of our hope and our future. So here to remind us in song of God's protective provision is Sarah Pierce, who will favor us with a selection from our current production of Heidi, God is Watching Over You. Sarah?
Troubled and tired and tearful, and you struggle with doubt and fear. You ask yourself, is God up there? And does he care that I am here? He knows just the way you are feeling. He felt it once himself. Watching over you. When you fear he won't hear us, that's the time he is near us with a love we have never known. He says, lo, I'm beside you. In my time I will guide you, and you're never, never
We are very blessed to have welcomed Sarah to our LifeHouse family more recently, and we appreciate your talents and look forward to hearing much more from you in the years to come, I pray. Since we last met here a year ago, several new productions and old favorites have graced our stage at LifeHouse, so let's take a look now at what's been performed this past season thus far, shall we? And thank you so much for your faithful attendance for all of our productions thus far. And of course, we're right in the thick of our 20th season. We're thankful for all God that has been doing this season. And we are continuing with Heidi right now, the last 2 more weekends. And then we have Treasure Island coming up, and Seussical the Musical, premiere of Samson, and a new Sherlock Holmes and the Hound of the Baskervilles. So we hope you'll be joining us for the remainder of our 20th season, and shortly we'll be announcing our 21st. And just as our current 20th season continues in full swing, so does the work of LTO, LifeHouse Theater Outreach. We began as a touring company in the early 1990s, and that work continues to this day under the visionary leadership of Eric Bishop. So Eric, why don't you come on up if you would, please. Good to have you with us. Thank you, Eric. You may recall, folks, that in 1993-94, some of you know this, we took our Scrooge production to 7 cities in 7 weeks, and we were really exhausted from that. And we thought, I don't know if we can continue doing this. I mean, after all, I'm going to be getting older, you know. And so we figured out that...
Supposed to comment on that?
No, please don't comment on that. And we realized that the place where we were rehearsing, and we thought would be a storage facility on New Jersey Street. Some of you remember that old New Jersey Street location, right? If you like, we'll switch out your comfortable chairs for the old tin, hard chairs that we used to have. I know. Well, no, we won't do that for old time's sake. But in any case, we realized that we wanted to plant some roots, and we sold out, I think, 3 nights of the last stop of our tour, which was that facility, and that became LifeHouse Theater, evolving into where we are now. But in the meantime, Eric has picked up the mantle of LTO, LifeHouse Theater Outreach. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we started, kind of with the demise, if I may say, of Little House on the Prairie.
Had to bring that up, didn't you?
I did, sorry. I know it's still a little sore right there. But, through that, we had to get a show up and going so we would get some revenue into the theater. And so we dusted off an old show that Wayne had on the shelf, A Song in My Heart. I had flown in, I was out of state, I flew in, and Jeff picked me up from the airport, and there was a script on his seat, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, it's the show we're doing in 10 days, and you're directing it."
That's about how it was.
And we opened in 10 days, and we did that weekend, and as we were in the middle of that show, I thought to myself, why couldn't we take this show and reach out with LifeHouse and go back to our roots of touring? And so that's what we did. And
we're very thankful that you did. And that's the show about how old hymns came to be written.
Correct.
And we were amazed how many churches really wanted to hear those stories. And you've toured quite a bit now. How many places have you gone?
In the last 4 years, we've hit over 50 locations. And all the way from San Diego all the way up to Portland, Oregon. And we've hit Chino Women's Prison. We took 2 times, we went to Chino Women's Prison, and which was just an absolute blessing, because 2/3 of the women that came and saw our show there had never seen a live musical before. And so it was just amazing to see how God used it to bless those.
Really blessed experience. And I believe we have some of your renegade troop here with you.
We do.
Do we not? Why don't we have those of you who are in the LifeHouse Theater outreach group, why don't you stand, those of you who have been part of the cast of that? Oh. They have been rehearsing and performing for many long hours, and you have actually gotten 3 shows up and running and touring at various times of the year. And how do folks who are interested in getting one of our productions visiting your church out there, how would they get to do that, arrange that?
That's a great question, Wayne.
I thought so.
So tonight we'll have a table set up outside. If you'd like to get more information about LifeHouse Theater Outreach, you can visit our website, which is www.lhoutreach.com. But we'll be outside to meet and greet you and give you any information you can, and we can come to your school, to your church, and just talk to you about how we can help support your ministry and what you're doing.
Thank you so much, Eric. I appreciate that. And I believe you've prepared something that gives us a little more in-depth look at LTO.
Hopefully, yes.
Let's take a look at that. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much.
LifeHouse Theater Outreach.
Ministry,
Friends.
The arts.
Dance.
Our first touring production is called A Song in My Heart. It tells the stories behind great hymns, the authors who wrote them, and the events that inspired the composing of such songs as It Is Well With My Soul, Blessed Redeemer, and many others. People are often surprised and moved by how hymns have been written.
So being part of LifeHouse Theater Outreach has been a huge blessing for me. Getting to go places and talk to people and reach people with the stories that we tell.
Heroes is a fun, vaudeville-style approach to relating famous stories from the Old Testament, such as David and Goliath, Daniel and Job. Through zippy songs and comedy, we profile great heroes of faith and help a new generation discover God's presence in history, as well as how He is present today.
I would be lying if I said that being an LTO isn't fun, but the truth is it isn't always fun, because there is real work involved, and sometimes the hours are awful and incredibly inconvenient.
Once Upon a Dream is a fantasy tale that addresses many current social problems such as substance abuse and other issues that challenge families today. The audience meets a man named Joe and his daughter Sarah. With the help of an angel and God's divine intervention, the two of them bridge the proverbial generation gap and learn how much they actually have in common. The hopeful message presented is that God is the source of solutions and positive grid for living. So far, the reaction to this dramatic musical has been stunning. Many people are moved to tears as they recognize issues that have hit a nerve with them, and they are inspired by the hope of God's love and redemption.
One of my favorite moments was when we went to Teen Challenge. A man came up to me and he had tears in his eyes. He extended his hand out and he said, "I'm an alcoholic and that's why I'm here. I have a daughter named Sarah and I lost her because of alcoholism, and you've given me some hope that I'll get her back someday." So ministry is uncomfortable, and but it's fulfilling and it makes us happy and we love to do it.
Or like the woman that I met a few weeks ago who took my hand and was starting to say something, and then she just walked away because she was starting to cry and she didn't want to cry in front of me. When I see those things happening, I realize that it's all worth it and that God really is using us to touch hearts and to change lives.
Over the past 4 years, LifeHouse Theater Outreach has been blessed to minister at over 50 locations. Some of those including Harvest Christian Fellowship in Riverside, where we've ministered multiple times, Chino Institute for Women, and 2 years ago we traveled to Portland, Oregon, where we were able to share the gospel to 4 churches in 3 days, traveling 2,500 miles, and just seeing God's work in each and every situation.
So when you think about us, pray for us.
Thank you, Eric, and all of you on the LTO. We deeply appreciate your outstanding outreach. And another area we seek to be a hopeful beacon in the community is through our Life Tales musical biography series. And these are designed for Inland Empire students, as we have hundreds come to LifeHouse various times of the year. And here to tell us more are the coordinators of Life Tales, Steve Simons and Nathan Prince. Come on up, man. I appreciate seeing that basket. It's a delightful addition to your ensemble there, Nathan. But I think we'll have more on that in a few moments, won't we?
Yes, sir.
Good. That's going to be for our season pass drawing, which we're looking forward to. But first, tell us, gentlemen, a little bit about our Life Tales series.
Age before beauty?
Definitely.
Okay. Nathan and I have just had a real pleasure of seeing kids learn in a whole different way. I'm not sure about how you learned in school, but I didn't learn very well in the classroom. And to see 1,600 kids come to see theater kind of breathed out for them on stage has just been really exciting. And to see the kids come outside and meet the cast afterwards is just a real pleasure, because they've learned something that I don't think they've ever heard before. I think Nathan tells stories that he's learned so much more just from producing and directing these than he ever did in school.
I stopped saying that though, because I realized that makes me look pretty not too bright.
No, but it's true.
I told a teacher once, she's like, so did you go to school? I was like, oh, so I don't say that anymore actually. But I do learn a lot from them though. So, sorry, go ahead.
Very educational, aren't they?
Yes, very. That's how good they are. That even.
We market test them, and anyway, all right.
Thanks.
One of the things we've done is we've added a third show. We've done 2 shows in the past, and we've done a third show this year, and we'll continue to do that. We're trying to get public schools back on board. There's been a lot of financial issues with them, with busing and that kind of thing. So we're looking for some grants to do some busing so kids can come. But
we're reaching public schools and private schools and home schools, our main audiences, and then other guests are able to attend during the week.
Yeah, they actually travel from Victorville, Orange County, Palm Springs.
This kind of stuff isn't really available readily.
They say that a lot, actually. Especially, it's historical figures. We don't add Jesus into it. It's historical fact. So it's really cool. Schools come and they're like...
No, you're not saying Jesus isn't historical.
No,
fact.
I definitely think
he
is.
All right, I understand. But
we're safe for public schools to come.
We're sensitive to our audience.
Yes, right. As I said, I learn more in these shows than I do in school. But anyway.
Or church, apparently.
Thanks for your time. Anyhow, I'm done.
No, you're not. We
were friends.
Well, I tell you what, how do we arrange, anyone who's interested, how do we arrange a field trip to come to LifeHouse for one of these musical biographies of historic figures?
The website has all the information as far as upcoming shows. You'll hear tonight later on.
Well, let's find out now. What shows do we have coming up for young people?
For next season?
We have Lewis and Clark in the fall, and then we'll be doing a musical biography of Ben Franklin, and then another one for Florence Nightingale in the spring. So that's our season coming up for our students.
And if there's any, along with the website and stuff, you could email, or the information's online. We'd love to take requests and even some ideas for upcoming possible shows. So if you're interested in being in them, you could check out all the information online and let us know, because that'd be cool.
And writers, be aware, we're still looking for new titles for the coming seasons, and so Lewis and Clark is a new show, and every year we're planning to add one new one. So
a lot of people don't realize that LifeHouse is unique in the nation on a number of counts, but one is that we create all of our own material, or at least 90% of it. We'll now and then do a published classic, but basically we have the ability to launch our own original work, and so we are looking for that kind of talent as well. But gentlemen, you also wear other hats, and that is with regard to getting our scripts out to other organizations, not only nationally, but internationally, I understand.
Well, as Wayne talked earlier about being a beacon, obviously we've been a beacon in this area, and as LTO has taken stuff outside in California and other states. One of the exciting things, and having started to oversee the script catalog, is just hearing all the stories of people that are putting on our scripts all over the United States, as you'll see here in a second. All the red states are states that people have produced and staged LifeHouse shows.
Steve, I'm very grateful for that, and it's just gratifying to know that there are a lot of organizations out there that are trying to produce the kind of materials that we've originated, and we have a special arrangement with the state of Texas, do we not?
Correct. There's actually a teacher. What I hear a lot is Christian teachers who are teaching in a public school setting, and they can't find scripts to kind of fit what they want their kids to learn. And so just recently we have a school in Texas that is actually on their way to the state finals using one of our scripts that they've kind of honed, that we've given them permission to do. And they're so excited. She said we're getting a lot of the reviews from the judges back, and they've never had this kind of reaction. They were competing against 500 other schools, very large schools, using one of our scripts, and they're going to the finals next week. So we get an update every few weeks, but it's really exciting.
I'm also very pleased to announce we just about 3-4 weeks ago, we got word from Zorro Productions, which is an internationally trademarked organization, anything that has to do with Zorro. And they, since 2009, have had our original work that we had permission from them to develop for our community theater. And they've decided that it will now be the only authorized community theater production of Zorro that is able to be performed anywhere. And we're very grateful for that.
In a moment, we're going to pull up another map in one moment, but the kind of the key thing that keeps coming back, Steve and I sat through 2 Skype conversations, and I'm hyperactive, so it's really hard for me. But it was really fun to hear and exciting to hear, and it's all overseas stuff, and we're going to show you that in a moment. But the thing that keeps coming back all the time in the Skype, the phone calls, the emails, is there's nothing like this out there. And it's really encouraging. It's also fun to be a part of that, just growing up, and just we're all a part of that, and it's so cool to see. If you want to bring up that map now, kind of show worldwide where we're at, all the red and reddish-brown areas.
These are the countries that are staging LifeHouse productions. There's a group or some organization in those countries, and I see everything from Spain to Japan to New Zealand to Australia, and some countries I may need to look up.
I had to because it wasn't in a play.
So I think it's safe to say that our goal is to simply take over the world. That's what we're trying to do here.
The 2 calls that we had last week, or 2 weeks ago, were very exciting. One is a gentleman from Germany who is a very well-known playwright there, and a gentleman who is the chief translator for all of Hillsong music into German, has asked to start translating our scripts into German so they can produce them in Germany. So we had that conversation with them. They're all excited. They're actually going to do Joseph first, and they're just going to start working through our catalog based on stuff that they see going on in their country. So 2 very quality men that were real excited. And another one is, so you can go clap for that. That's really exciting. And then one of the largest mission organizations in the country has asked us to provide them with some scripts to take on a boat that they have that travels all over the world. They have a 400-seat theater on this boat. It's a huge boat. And they want us to be able to produce shows there as well as in Ireland this coming summer. So 2 very exciting opportunities that we're really excited about.
Outreach opportunities. And lest anyone think that we're getting rich, I think most of you know our ministry, and at least me personally, to know that we're not about money. We do a very modest sliding scale depending on the group. Our aim is to get them to do productions that are redemptive when they don't have those kinds of resources. So we're not about that. And the small so-called profit, I guess, that does comes back to the mothership at LifeHouse to help our operating costs. But other than that, we're trying to just get it out there. And so we appreciate all your efforts to do just that, gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to ask Nathan to stay. I don't know if you can be impartial or not, but I guess you can. I'm going to mix this up, and then I'm going to hold this, and then you can draw who is going to be, we're going to do this twice, aren't we? Yes, sir. 2 winners of season passes for our 21st season. This will be the most excitement that hopefully someone will see for something they have no idea really what they've won. Because we haven't announced it yet, but it'll be, now we said we're a faith ministry, so by faith, hopefully you'll like what we're doing here. All right, I'll hold this. You close your eye. I'll do one. And no, I better not, because with my luck, my wife will win, and that won't look good. They'll start rioting out there. All right, let's see who the winner is. It is none other than Krista Blair. Krista Blair. Where's Krista? Krista? Oh, there she is. All right, fantastic. You'll deliver that in a moment. All right, let's do that one more time. That was so much fun. We'll find out an unsuspecting winner of They Don't Know What. All right, and it is none other than Sadie Mays. Fantastic. All right, take that. Thank you. Congratulations. And everyone's applauding for We Don't Know What. But we're happy that the winners won. We're not sure what they won, but we'll find out soon. We'll find out soon. That's just terrific. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, since we're in a giving mood, the time has come to award our annual LifeHouse Scholarship. And this is the 9th year that we've had the honor of bestowing a $1,000 award to an extraordinary scholar who has graced our stage as a LifeHouse alumni. This year's winner is an amazingly well-rounded Renaissance man whose faith informs his excellence and his heart of service to others. I am told, for example, that he has spent many days constructing loft houses for the impoverished people of Ensenada, Mexico, with Hands of Mercy, another fine organization. In addition, he actively participates in an exhausting array of interests and always excels with notable achievement. He has been varsity captain for 3 out of his 4 years with the prestigious mock trial program at Redlands East Valley High School, serving as closing attorney for the prosecution and defense. He's been winning awards and state honors in this particular discipline. He's also managing editor of the yearbook. He has a varsity letter in cross country on the baseball team. He's with cross country and he's also on the baseball team. He's a tennis varsity, I wasn't trying to invent a new sport there. He has a varsity letter in cross country and he's on the baseball team. He is a tennis varsity captain. He has a varsity letter in golf. He's on the staff of the school newspaper. He's a Rotary Speech Contest winner and district finalist. He's graduation speaker, and he's won too many awards to cite here, but among them are the Scholar Athlete Award and becoming an AP Scholar with honors. In his spare time, he's somehow managed to appear in many LifeHouse productions, including Peter Pan, in which he played one of the leading characters, John, and our production of Ruth and Anne of Green Gables and Anne of Avonlea. So we're very excited to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, who this winner is. Please welcome this year's LifeHouse Scholarship winner, Blake Barrich. Blake, congratulations. Very happy for you. There you are. Hang on just a second. And I understand that you have your choice of a number of amazing schools. You haven't narrowed it down yet, have you?
I'm thinking UC Santa Barbara.
UC Santa Barbara. Well, I know you'll be representing all of us very well there and in the arts, and we appreciate your strong faith and commitment to the things of the Lord. Thank you and congratulations. Appreciate it. Thank you. Now, we're in a very giving mood tonight, so at this time I'd like to invite my wife Tammy to the stage, and she's going to bring with her a very special list of people. We'd like to publicly thank and honor our role of faithful financial partners, but before I do that, I have to say, folks, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for this dear lady the last few years. Grateful for her. Tammy is our events coordinator, and I'm deeply in debt to you, and I just can't thank you enough for being my sweetie and helpmate in all that we're doing at LifeHouse. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I call her sweetie now, but I think by Christmas we're praying that she's been working on her PhD, and I think by Christmas I'll have to call her Dr. Sweetie. So, I'm very proud of her, needless to say. But now we're also proud of our honor roll of faithful financial partners of 14 or more years. And I'd like to ask these dear people to please stand, and let's hold our applause until everyone's been recognized. It's quite a distinguished list, and here they are. We might want to bring the house up for this. We have Hayne and Rochelle Baucom, Brenda Bennett, Julie Carlson, Dennis and Kay Sighthammer, George Christensen, Ken and Trudy DeWitt, Joanne Fairchild, Dale and Kim Fulkins, Pastor John Janbaz, Mark and Karen Johnson, John and Jan Mace, Dave and Tammy Marvin, David and Robin Maupin, Marty and Susie McLeod, Joan Morrill, Phil and Carol Naylor, Joe and Judy Powers, Louis and Joanne Scott, Robert and Crystal Snedeker, Sue Studeman, Bill and Peggy Tilden, Richard and Laurel Tubbs, Neil and Grace Valkenberg, Bob and Sheila Wines. Our congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sweetie. I'm going to give that to you to put over there. Thank you. Well, we are richly sustained by these dear visionary people, and we thank you for your partnership all these years. And in addition to these faithful partners, we'd also like to acknowledge some other special partners for the first time to mark the observance of our milestone current 20th season. First, we want to award a special volunteer service honor to a couple who have served LifeHouse guests in our lobby every single Friday evening for more than 15 years. Most of you experienced their warm, gracious hospitality as exemplary representatives of the Lord and of LifeHouse. They have an extraordinary gift of encouragement as well as service, and they are truly behind-the-scenes stars in their own right. Please join me in thanking and recognizing Dr. Bob and Sheila Wines. I know you don't. And these dear people are on their feet for you. We cannot thank you enough for your gift of service to all of us and for your cheerful spirit. We couldn't ask for better representatives. And we thank you for gracing our Friday evenings for so many years, and we pray for many more to come, God willing. Thank you both. And I know you don't like to be up here, but we love you and appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. And now at this time, we've also been favored with a record number of corporate and individual sponsors who have helped to underwrite the considerable expenses of individual shows staged at LifeHouse. And it's an honor to humbly thank and call to the stage the following who have been sponsors this past season and in some cases far beyond. Joe Hinahan of the Hinahan Company, Dr. Gary and Valerie Chan, Mr. and Mrs. Ray Clark and Tracy Bennett representing Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Markets, Jerry and Brenda Bean, David and Robin Maupin, Bruce and Linda Cavarno, Ken and Trudy DeWitt. If you're here in the house tonight, we want to have you here up on our stage if you don't mind, and we have some awards for you. Please. So nice to have you. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for coming tonight. We deeply appreciate all of you. Please. I know we're crowding the stage and our tech crew is having fits with lighting, but what a nice problem to have, all of you dear people. We have been richly sustained here at LifeHouse, thanks to all of you. Much of the quality and excellence that we've sought to present on our stage this season has not only been possible because of your gracious ongoing support of our productions, but you have helped us to keep raising the bar of high standards on stage, and for that, we are profoundly grateful to all of you. Thank you so much. And Tammy has a very nice award for you, and this is what it looks like, a glass etching that we hope will be a small token of our deepest appreciation for all of your sponsorship. Thank you. And this is for the Hinahans, and they're not here tonight. I was told they would be, but we'll still speak to them, right? All right. We'll put that there, and that's for you. And we have, what else do we have here? I need to be of some help. I can't just be standing around, right? This is for the Clarks. And, oh, stop encouraging all of that. And yours is on the way. Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you very much. Appreciate you to no end. Thank you. I appreciate the long-standing friendship most of all. Thank you so much for all you've done for us. We appreciate it. Thank you. And finally, there is a family of great vision and gracious generosity that for many years has made possible the upgrading and expansion of our facilities, our technical abilities, and outreach programs through their foundation, Inspired Imaginations Media. They have helped LifeHouse reach a national and international audience while also keeping the mothership of LifeHouse in Redlands on the technical cutting edge of community theater. Our deepest gratitude to Bill, Sally, and Austin Ziprick. Please join us. Such a blessing to have you here. Austin, Bill, anything I can do to embarrass you. We are so grateful for what you've done to make LifeHouse what it is today, as everyone here has, but you've made some unique and special contributions, and we appreciate your vision and all you've done on our behalf. And we're blessed by your friendship, and we extend our compliments and deepest gratitude. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, sweetie. Appreciate you so much. See you later. Thank you, Eric. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at how God has revealed himself through his hand on the people and programs of LifeHouse. This is the God of a hope and a future.
When you come to see a show here, you know that you can bring the kids, you can bring the grandkids, you can bring the grandparents, the mom, the dad, the whole family.
You can be safe here, knowing that, it's going to be family oriented. You don't have to worry about what that person might say or what, this scene is going to be like.
And I had seen some other local community theater, and this is just so far above that.
See a very high quality show, but you're also going to get a really uplifting, positive message, when you leave here. When you leave here, you feel good.
LifeHouse, I think, attempts with every show that we bring to the stage to bring God's message of hope, the ultimate hope. That there is a God who loves you, who has plans to give you hope and a future.
God used LifeHouse Theater and the people that I met here to teach me how to love again. I came here back to California in 2010 with a really hardened heart, and God surrounded me with magnificent people here at LifeHouse.
Ever since I came to LifeHouse, there's been a lot of friendship here, and it's a great thing because I didn't have a lot of friends when I was growing up, so just being here and everyone's kind of like a family.
Yeah, I have a lot of better friends here. At school, they're usually pretty selfish and just care about themselves, but here, everyone tends to care for everybody and things and just encourage one another.
Being single at the age that I am, sometimes it is hard to kind of figure out where I fit in, in churches where they're a lot of times geared towards families or married couples. But when I come here to LifeHouse, none of that matters. I can't imagine what my life would be like without LifeHouse. I kind of feel like it might be a little bit lonely.
It's such a community. It's a place that you can come and you're going to be accepted for whoever you are, whatever background you have, and I'm really unbiased.
When I feel depressed or just feeling bad with something in my life, they just encourage me and give me encouragement. If I'm having troubles with my life and stuff, outside of here, they pray for me during prayer. This has probably been one of my best experiences that I've ever had.
I've been through a lot in my life right now, still right now, and I actually had a heart transplant when I was 6 weeks old, so he's blessed me to be here, part of this family. They are so friendly here. They are honestly much nicer to me than at school. Like, people keep on asking me, what is my happy place? This is my happy place. If I could be here, if I could live here, if I could marry it, I would.
The thing that I see here is there's always this desire to be better and to to do a better job and to do a better production, and not for our glory, but for God's glory, you know.
Well, by having a community theater like this that people support, you know, because they want it, they want to continue it, it keeps that alive also. The arts in the area keeps that culture alive. And again, just going back to it's a great message that gets sent out here. You know, LifeHouse relies on support from the community and from donations. Anything that you feel like doing, contact LifeHouse, and they'd be more than happy to plug you in somewhere.
This is a cut above what you're going to find out there in community theater. It's more towards the professional level, and the fact that it does have a Christian under theme is a big, big plus. And this is something that we should be talking about in our church groups more and more, because these are people that are hungry for entertainment, and they're so disgusted with what they find everyplace else, and we need to direct them here.
You know, after even just a year here, I was just like, no, this place is important. It needs to be here, and the only way it's gonna last is if people invest in it. You know, not just their time, but you know, we got to pay the bills. I just really feel like, you know, we should all do what we can to make sure that this place keeps going.
I don't mean to be melodramatic, but I think things have never been harder for the theater than in the last 3 to 4 years. We saw a tremendous downturn at the end of 2008 when the economy hurt everybody. And it's been harder than ever to keep going, because the truth is we fall behind a good $10,000 a month. And it's not because we're poor stewards or we're not using the most with the most bare bones staff. No, the truth is that this is a hard time for many people, including corporate sponsors who are hard hit by the economy as well and who have less discretionary spending. And so getting those sponsors to help us meet the gap between what ticket prices bring in and what our actual costs are has been more daunting than ever. Blessedly, we have had some success in some people who have caught the vision and realized that we need help carrying the financial load to continue being the outlet and the beacon in the community that we want to be. We want to be an outlet for our young people and their talents and be good stewards of their gifts that God has given them. But we also want to be faithful in our outreach to the community who is looking for alternatives. People in the community are looking for that light, because so many places they turn in the media, whether it be the movies, television, even television commercials are not for the faint-hearted. And so we want to be that alternative, that educational, entertainment alternative for the community at large. Sometimes I'm squeamish about asking for things because I don't like to ask. But I'm so passionate about our mission, because I do see the lives change, that my inhibitions sort of melt away, because I want you to experience the joy that I have of helping people each month, of seeing those lives change, of seeing young people make good choices because they're around good people and they're engaging in the arts, telling a good story that points to the author of all creativity. Well, it is with great pleasure and perhaps some trepidation that I now welcome to the stage a longtime past member of our LifeHouse Advisory Board, the title character in our last Christmas production, Dickens' Scrooge, and a dear friend of mine and of LifeHouse, Mr. Brett Barrett.
Thank you, Wayne. Excuse me, but in that last little montage, did we see a picture of Wayne in a sleeveless shirt? Welcome to the gun show, big boy. I felt moved to give right then, that's all I can say.
Please don't encourage this. This is what I said when I meant when I said trepidation.
You know, this is, some of you know me, some of you don't. I was really involved in LifeHouse back when I had more hair, and Wayne's hair was pretty much exactly the same as it's been for 70 years, but
There's a trap door right there.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Actually, it's kind of crazy. I first got involved in LifeHouse. They showed a picture of Mary Poppins, and my daughter was in that show, and she was like 15. And then she was the first Anne of Green Gables. And then Wayne asked me to serve on the advisory board, and he said it was a 2-year term. And in the 7th year of that 2-year term, I didn't realize it was like the Hotel California, you know. Anyway, but I was very involved I was very involved in the theater during some very difficult times when I was on the board, and points where it was really just literally out of money, and it was going to take a miracle to save it. And I've seen Wayne struggle and suffer and sacrifice. I've seen him cut his pay more than once and just do everything that he could. And I saw it from that, and I saw the theater then begin to thrive again. And then I kind of disappeared for a while. Things happened in my life, and I disappeared. And probably about 2 or 3 years ago, I got to a point in my life where I thought, you know, I'm old officially. I passed 50, which means if I live to 100, I'm half dead. I actually did get the senior citizen discount at Home Tub Buffet once. It was not a good day. But I started to say, I'm going to start checking off items in my list that I want to do. And Wayne's actually been a part of those. He let me do an hour comedy show as a fundraiser, and that was wonderful. And I wrote a novel that's not very good, so I'm not even going to tell you which one it is, but I wrote it. And about just over, it's been about 8 months now, I guess. It's gone by so fast. I was home one night, and I hadn't talked to Wayne in years, literally, and I hadn't thought of the theater. And I was sitting at home one night, and I said, you know, one of the items on my bucket list is I want to do a show one day. Just one day, I want to do a musical, and I that would be fun. And so I thought of LifeHouse, and I went on the website for the first time literally in 4 years that I'd been on the website, and I looked at it and was seeing what shows were coming up and if any might fit my busy schedule. And I looked at and I said, oh, the show that I could have done would have been so great if I could have done Scrooge, because that's a part I could have done. And but auditions were yesterday, so well, I guess it's not going to happen. And the next night, I'm driving home from an event, and my cell phone rings, and it's Wayne Scott calling. Now, he wasn't calling about the show. He had sent us like a fundraising, an invitation to a fundraising dinner, and my lovely wife, knowing that money was tight, just threw it in the trash.
We wonder what happens to all of those, you know.
So it's really not an effective outreach, Wayne. I hate to break it to you, but... Anyway, but only because she'd thrown it away and I hadn't seen it and I hadn't responded, and Wayne probably saw my name on the list and said, you know, I'd love to see how Brett's doing. He called me. So I'm talking to him, how funny that you're calling me, Wayne. I was just thinking of you last night. And I said, you know, I've been thinking of maybe I'd like to do a show, but shoot, your Scrooge auditions were last night and I missed it. And Wayne goes, Brett, we don't have a Scrooge. And I was like, oh no, I'm supposed to do it. I really thought that, like, and you know, it was, I had not done a show. I was at a show when I was 15 years old and had a bit part. I've never done a show before in my life. And I go from never doing anything to now I'm playing the lead in a musical. I have to tell you, the people who do these shows are insane. I had no idea how hard it was. I had no idea the commitment that this would take. I have never worked so hard in my life. And yeah, I had the lead role, I guess you could say, and I was on stage a lot, and I got some of the applause. You have no idea how hard every single person works. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound weird, but when you get there on the first day of the rehearsal, one of the things you realize is there's just not that much talent on that stage. What I mean is these aren't naturally the most gifted Broadway actors. These are people with a passion for doing it and a heart for it, but they're not someone that you would just see and expect them to be on a Broadway stage, but with the direction. And these people are so passionate and work so hard, and they want it so bad. And when you see the production up there, you literally cannot believe that what just came out on stage was what was there on the first day of rehearsal. It is absolutely miraculous. The time these people give and how much they care to create a show for all of you is, I was shocked by it. And what is even more blown away is I'm not like Joe Faithful. I don't have a very powerful faith. That's not where I am in my life. You cannot be a part of a LifeHouse show and experience these people and not have your faith renewed. You see people living the love of the gospel. They took such good care of me. It was as if I were their Scrooge. And they were constantly caring for me. Brett, do you need any? It was one of the most moving experiences of my life. And I just want to share with you that it's not just the ministry that goes out to the audience. It's not just the people that are there, the place that you've created for people in this theater, Wayne. And the difference, LifeHouse needs to exist just for what it does for the lives of the people who perform the shows, not just the people who come to it. And as I was thinking about, Wayne asked me to share tonight, I was thinking about it, and we all have some stories that have like touched us in our lives, and one of them that just has meant the world to me, and I think of all the time, there was a book called My Grandfather's Blessings, and I can remember the woman's first name, I believe, was like Naomi, but that doesn't help you, but it was My Grandfather's Blessings, and she wrote it about the blessings that her grandfather taught her. He was a rabbi, and he actually passed away when she was 7. And in those first years of her life, he taught her so many things. And the book was about people able to find joy. People who had terminal illnesses and who were able to find blessings in the midst of tremendous pain. And then she was telling a lesson that she'd learned from her grandfather when she was just like 5. And one day he'd come to their apartment in New York and he'd given her a cup of dirt. And he called her Neshumle, and I think it means something like blessed one, but I'm not good at this. And he said, Neshumle, you need to make me a promise. Every night, you will put a tablespoon of water in this cup. You must promise me, Neshumle, every night. I promise you, grandfather, I promise you. You must. So every night, before she'd go to bed, she'd put a tablespoon of water in the little cup. And as she tells the story, there were some nights that she'd forgotten, and she'd wake up in the middle of the night in a panic. I promised my grandfather. She'd get up and she'd run into the kitchen and put a tablespoon in, and she watched that cup every day. And a couple weeks go by, and she didn't know why she was doing it, but she made a promise, so she kept doing it. And after about 2.5 weeks, she got up one morning, and a little green leaf had broken through the dirt. And she was so excited, and she couldn't wait for her grandfather to get there, and she was going to tell him, look what happened. And he walked into the apartment. She runs to him, and she says, grandfather, look, all it needed was water. And he said, no, Neshumle, what it needed was your faithfulness. And I think, I'm going to embarrass him a little bit. I have never met a more faithful man in my life than Wayne Scott. No. And I have seen him give tablespoons of his heart over and over and over again. Sometimes when it was parched, I don't think he had anything left to give. But he has made a commitment to LifeHouse and to be faithful to the calling that God has given him to a point that literally blows me away. And I've seen this man empty more times and still just give a little bit more. And as you guys are thinking about today how you can support this ministry, what I want to ask for you on behalf of Wayne is please just your faithfulness. You know, we recognize those donors who give much and who are able to make a huge difference because we desperately need them. But what we really need is your faithfulness. The little bit that you have, the little amount that God has given you, the little bit amount that you can find to give it every month, just a teeny bit, to make that commitment. And like that young girl, it's like, I don't know, there may never be a guarantee. I don't know what will happen as a result of this commitment that I'm making. But what we do know is that if you don't make it, nothing will happen. And so on behalf of LifeHouse and everyone here, I just ask you to think about it. God, what can I do to say thank you for the blessing you've given me with LifeHouse? What can I do to honor the faithfulness of Wayne Scott and those people who have given so much for this? And how can I continue this wonderful ministry for as long as you will continue to bless it? And as he leads you, you can fill out that part in the program. And I always have encouraged when I've been a part of this, the monthly donation thing, peeps. Let me tell you, he needs to know, we need to know what can we count on every month. We can't hire people based on a one-time donation. You can't commit to someone and have them quit their career and start a ministry with you based on, well, I got a $5,000 this month so I can hire for 2 weeks. We need your faithfulness. So I encourage you, as you feel that, fill this out. There's donation boxes, I believe, around
Yes.
to make a contribution.
And we'll be bringing the lights up now, and we'll be passing out any pens if anyone needs any, and our ushers are standing by. In a few moments, we'll have a time of reflection, and we'll be blessed by a song. In just a moment, I'll introduce our singer. But we appreciate all that you've said, Brett.
And I mean this, people. Just, if you can't, God bless you. And if you can, we're grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you so much. Well, we're passing out baskets to get pens in people's hands who may want to make a response tonight. We never like to pressure. There are envelopes there as well, and you may want to give a response later on. But there'll be people at the back doors who will be able to collect any responses you may wish to share this evening. And also at the pavilion where we're about to depart and enjoy some refreshments, we'll also have places where you can turn in your envelope. And we appreciate your consideration of that tonight. We need your assistance more than ever at a time when we are challenged more than ever, and I want to thank you for your gracious consideration of how you might be able to be moved by the Lord to help. Before we go any further, we'd like to have a reminder in song now that it only takes one person to make a difference, and maybe that's you. One person to reveal God's love as a God of hope and a future. Here, coming up stage now, is Emily Helvey to sing One Is All It Takes, and we'll keep the lights up for you. Thank you so much, Emily Helvey. We appreciate you and your talents. And we'll leave the lights up for just a moment, but now we come to our new season of a hope and a future. I would like to call up our general manager, Jeff DeWitt, our scenic producer and designer, Tim Mahoney, and our artistic director, Nathan Prince, to assist in announcing a season pointing to God's hope. Oh, yes. I was just reminded, and I apologize for failing to mention this, but we have something very exciting this evening, and that is we have someone who has offered to have a $10,000 matching gift for us this evening. So they'll match up to $10,000, whatever comes in tonight. And that can be phoned in later to our office anytime this evening. And we appreciate very much your consideration of that, and we deeply appreciate that anonymous, gracious donor. So that's exciting. That's already an answer to prayer. All right. Well, now, here is our 21st season of Hope and a Future, and our season begins November 29th with the return of our original cherished musical Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, George, Bailey, and Bedford Falls bring to life on stage along with the true spirit of Christmas.
Next, by popular demand, the return of a funny favorite fairy tale, Cinderella. This hilarious classic is back with fun new surprises for all ages.
Then a powerful literary masterpiece returns. It created a sensation when first performed at LifeHouse, as it packed full houses and had audiences spellbound. Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird. The groundbreaking novel is faithfully brought to our stage as compelling as ever.
Next, you asked for it back, the #1 request on our audience survey, the return of our dazzling musical comedy, Esther. It's been 5 years since last staged, and we look forward to restaging it one of our most popular biblical productions.
Then, also back by popular demand, an exciting heroic adventure, the amazing exploits of Don Diego de la Vega as Zorro. Zorro storms the stage once again, and romance, comedy, sword fights all combine for fun in this rousing crowd pleaser.
Next, an all-new premiere family musical, comedy, clever music, suspense, romance, adventure, are all woven together in this fun new take on a popular fairy tale, Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Selected by our audiences, this funny approach to a classic story promises to delight all ages.
Then, a dramatic new biblical epic with majestic music and a powerful message of hope premieres at LifeHouse as we stage the amazing story of Paul, the Road to Damascus. This was the top choice of even new titles according to guest surveys, and we look forward to its debut.
Finally, our guests tell us they long for the return of our witty musical romance, Pride and Prejudice. Jane Austen's charming classic returns with all its humorous twists and clever storytelling.
Thank you, men. Appreciate you. Thank you. And as these here guys depart, I couldn't be more grateful for a wonderful staff, and those right-hand men are among them, but all of our staff, from the front box office to everyone who volunteers, I couldn't be more blessed to work with the people that I'm privileged to serve with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we also have available tonight specially priced season passes tonight only, and we also have this t-shirt available. And yes, I'm now a purveyor of t-shirts. And what I'm told to tell you is that for a one-time donation of $100 or more, or for $20 pledge per month, that is absolutely free to you. And if you'd like to buy one, they're just $20, and the proceeds from that often helps fund our scholarship fund. So it's all a good cause. We have specially priced season passes, as I said, tonight only. Then t-shirts and donation stations are near the refreshment pavilion, just outside your left as you go through the main doors there. Our ushers will be happy to collect any responses that you have for this evening. Don't forget our 20 years of LifeHouse photo gallery, and let's match that $10,000 matching gift offer, if you would, by giving your donation. We really appreciate your consideration of all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough for joining us tonight. It's been a night I'll never forget. Thank you for joining us. Good night and God bless. Thank you.